call.
The mic is right there, too.
Oh, God.
Oh God, you're gonna step on the present.
Will somebody help me?
Just sit down. Why is there a camera underneath the church?
Did you see my butt crack?
Just in case the viewers wondering what's going on here, what have you got on? These guys got me a Christmas present, and listen, you guys have known me the longest out of anybody. It is so against my nature not to peek, but I've worked really hard not to. Alex, don't get excited when I say this. Have you guys seen my wiener backpack?
I see.
It's here? Oh, it's right there. Grab
Oh,
it.
it is right
Get
there.
it off the lamp. This was my Christmas present from our subscribers. Yeah. Okay, Zach, check.
Check. 1, 2, check.
Okay. Alex, you gotta be loud. I don't know what else to tell you.
Check.
Oh, hey, welcome to the Tendo podcast. I know that you're looking at a strange image as we begin this podcast because I'm blindfolded. I have a wiener backpack. Alex, I'm not sure what's going on there because I haven't taken off my blindfold to see. Zach, is there anything weird about you right now?
No.
So you showed up to the costume party without a costume.
Yeah, that's the weird thing.
Yeah, you're kind of that guy. I should have given you my wiener. Here, take this.
Yeah, give me the wiener.
That'll be a better start. Well, listen, on today's podcast, we're going to do a few things. These guys got me a present, which is why I'm blindfolded. Because Hannah, are you here?
Yeah.
Are you on camera?
Hello.
Are you on camera?
A little, not right now.
Well, show yourself. Okay, there you are. Well, Hannah's been wrapping the Christmas present that they brought me, which is kind of weird, but I don't know.
Well, our box.
Yeah, we all agreed that Hannah was the best rapper, so she's wrapped the Christmas present that they got me. So we're going to talk about Christmas. We're going to open the Christmas present, and then also one of the main draws to this week's podcast, I got Alex's car wreck that he lent me, and we talked about it on our main channel. If you somehow are watching this before you watched last week's video on our Tendo channel, go watch that video. Alex's car is destroyed. It's kind of my fault, but we also found the guy who did it, so we've got a heck of a story to talk about there. It was very harrowing. But let's start with Christmas. Alex, are we going to stay like this?
No, I'll take this thing off.
Can I take the blindfold off?
I think so.
I think you're good. I think you're good.
Is the Prezi wrapped?
Yep.
The Prezi is
Okay.
wrapped.
Okay, well, how can we show off the Prezi?
Let me get off this glizzy backpack.
He called the hot dog a glizzy. Let me have it. That's exactly what it is. I had to, the first time I heard somebody call a hot dog a glizzy, I had to Google the etymology of how that.
I don't know how it came about.
Well,
I've heard people.
in rap music and stuff, a glizzy was a Glock. It kind of sounds like it was a gun at first, and then somehow gun and hot dog. I don't know. It just became a hot dog. So people, colloquially, maybe in certain areas, call a hot dog a glizzy, and I'm here for it. Hannah, are you going to hang out here until it's open, or what are you doing?
I guess I don't know. I don't know how to leave.
You can get up and walk away. Do you need to go get back? Well, we didn't intend to start the
Her
podcast
face is so sad.
as weird as we did.
Do you want me here?
Hannah, she's sitting right in front of the camera. Raise your hand. Wave at us. You can get up and go if you want, or do you want to stay?
I want to see her reaction.
You want to see me open the present. Okay, well, here. Stand up and put the present right here. Kind of standing up so that people can see it. So this makes a little sense. But let's talk a little bit about Christmas and Christmas presents before. It's fine. I won't look. Well, let's talk a little bit about Christmas presents, what you guys might have gotten your kids, what your kids might have gotten you, et cetera, et cetera. Has anybody gotten any Christmas presents yet? Because as of filming, we're filming Christmas Eve, the day before.
Yep.
The day before Christmas Eve. So what have you guys gotten anything or given anything to your kids yet?
I got that Stormtrooper helmet.
The one that you started the show on? Is this on camera? What are we doing? Hannah, you just look like you're doing weird stuff. You just look like you're walking around while we're podcasting. There we go. There's a bag? Here. Right here, I'll set the bag down.
Yeah, you can't open the bag.
Is the weight going to give me any clues?
Yes.
Hey, just so you know,
So heavy.
I've already kind of given you clues.
Have you really?
Thank you.
Okay. Well, when did you give me clues?
That snuck them in there. I'll tell you.
Today while we're sitting here, or you
Yeah,
texted them
I
to
think we
me?
were recording. I gave you clues.
Okay, here. Let's make this microphone a little comfortable on you. Look, pull it out. Do one of these so you don't have to turn and talk. You can put the microphone in front of you. Yeah. There you go. I know it's a little maybe not right in front of your face.
Is this good?
Come down. Come down just a little. There you go. You got to get used to it. These microphone arms are weird. If you guys haven't watched too many of our podcasts, we have been doing them out on a table in the hallway. But we just moved into this new house, and we're trying to find a better way to use this space and stuff. So bear with us as we figure this out. Zach's having a heck of a time. Look, you see me here? Right here. This is the spot.
How are you?
You just got to do the thing,
Hold on.
man.
Oh, I see where wrong.
Point the mic up. There you go.
We'll talk about Christmas in a minute.
Anyways, Christmas. Have you guys gotten or given any gifts yet? Or is it all coming on Christmas Day? When do you guys do Christmas?
Well, my oldest daughter's birthday was like last week, so
No
we just
joke.
got done with that. So
Christmas birthdays are the worst.
yeah, so it's terrible. But
So you gave birthday presents, but not really Christmas presents.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
not yet.
asking because obviously you guys have brought me a gift. One of our
Yep.
subscribers sent this to match my cheeseburger backpack, and then also my grandmother and dad bought me a pair of Justins.
do you need help holding your foot up?
Yeah, you got me. Here, put it, push, go. You'll be surprised how far I can go, but you're also probably surprised. You're also probably surprised how heavy it is. But these are the nicest boots nicest boots I've ever owned.
Leg.
Nicest boots I've ever owned. Most expensive article of clothing I've ever owned in my life.
Pulled an oblique.
Alex, don't answer this question because you already know the answer. But just Zach, you want to guess how much these boots cost?
Couple hundred.
Gosh, nailed it. $200, $194
yeah.
plus tax.
Well, then I had to think like who got them for you if they were thrifters or not.
Right. Well, they're brand new, and I when we got home, here's what happened. When we moved back to Kentucky, instantly, all it's done is it was raining the day we got back. Every other day since we've been back, it's Kentucky. It's rained, and of course, I've been a Crocs guy for a few years now, and you can't walk outside in Kentucky with a pair of Crocs on without getting your feet wet, your socks wet. So I was tired of my socks getting wet. And you know how your feet like almost are gonna stink instantly the moment your socks get wet. I hated it, so I was like, "Hey, I gotta get a pair of boots." So I've had this saga. I bought a $80 pair of boots at Walmart that were the most uncomfortable thing I've ever owned, and then I bought a $4 pair of boots from a Goodwill, and they suck. So I've been eyeballing these Justin boots, but if you guys watching know, I'm not a $200 shoe kind of guy. I mean, you definitely know this. I've never, but I tried these boots on, and I've got funny arches, funny high arches in my feet and stuff, and I just never can quite find anything that's comfortable. But I put these boots on, and it's like walking on clouds. So we went to Rural King the other day, which is a Kentucky, it's a Midwestern kind of store, similar to Tractor Supply. Some of you might be a little bit more familiar with that. I don't know.
Better than Tractor Supply.
I agree. I think I agree. Definitely different, way more kind of homey. Tractor Supply is probably closer to a Home Depot or something in some ways than a Rural King will be. Not in a grand way, but so we're my grandmother and my little brother and I were all at Rural King, and I'm trying these boots on again, and they're like, "Get them!" They're like the devil on my shoulder. Get them! And I'm like, "No, I don't. I'm not gonna spend that much." And they ended up just both handing me a wad of cash. And they together paid for more than half of them, and I paid for the rest. So, Merry Christmas, me. I'm a boots guy now that I live back in Kentucky again. How you feel about that? You got any boots on right now, Alex?
Not today.
Alex has his Chucks on. This man's worn cowboy boots and boots since I met him. Just your boots
Got a
guy.
brand new pair of red hot tops for this tonight.
Where'd you get them? For Christmas?
Yeah.
Okay, well then that's what I'm talking. That's what I'm trying to talk about here. What did you guys?
About it.
What? I said, "Hey, Alex, what you got get for Christmas?" And you couldn't think of nothing until I was like, "Hey, boots."
Hey, the Stormtrooper helmet was the highlight.
Who got you the Stormtrooper helmet?
My father-in-law.
Your father-in-law. Did he get you the boots also?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He knows you.
He got it.
He knows exactly what to do.
He's kind of a nerdy fella too. So
Oh well, I'm sure he can appreciate your love for Star Wars then. But is that going to go with the rest of your helmet collection?
I think it's too big for my collection.
For your shelf that holds your Star Wars helmets? It is quite large. You need an equally goofy rest of the Stormtrooper costume.
Yeah.
Well, Zach, what about you? Have you gotten or given anything yet?
No, got a bottle of bourbon for my boss, but
Yeah.
other than that, right now I haven't got anything.
God.
Angel's Envy,
Do you know this one?
which the bourbon snobs will say it's not technically bourbon, but it's bourbon.
Why? What's the technicality? It's not made in Kentucky or something
Well,
dumb like
it's
that?
finished after it's bourbon. It's finished in a port wine barrel.
Oh, okay.
So they'll say it's not bourbon once you do that, but it's bourbon.
I can appreciate the technicalities. I can appreciate the technicalities of bourbon because I've done a couple. This is going to be kind of strange because you guys know I don't drink, and except for I've never had a drop of alcohol except for I went to Buffalo Trace. Is that the name of the distillery?
That's a distillery.
Where
Yep.
Blanton's is made, which is
Yep,
my last name. And I did a tour with some friends. I was on a job, so we were in Frankfurt, right? This is here, close to here, right outside of Frankfurt. And we did this whole bourbon tour. They're all tasting stuff, and I'm not partaking. But we get to the end, and they're like, "All right, everybody have a piece of candy." And I was just like, well, great. I would love to consume something after I just watched all these people get half wasted on this tour. And it's actually a bourbon filled piece of candy. And then even when I was about to eat it, they're like, it's got bourbon in it. And I'm thinking, like, you know, when my dad made chicken wings when we were kids, he poured a little beer in the batter. You know, I thought, oh, this has a little bit of alcohol in the content. No, there was a liquid third of an ounce of bourbon inside this piece of candy that I ate it. And so it's my first taste of alcohol ever is this bourbon. And I had heartburn for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks from one single little piece of chocolate.
Gotta
Heartburn.
kind of build up that tolerance a little bit.
Yeah, I would imagine. Imagine so because it got me. Is that it? Is that did you get anything good for your kids? Anything?
Yeah.
cool?
Well, Annie's really into magic right now. So I got her a little magic kit.
No way.
Yeah, she likes it. So
I didn't know that. Well, next time I see her, I'll make something disappear.
oh, she'll love it.
Yeah,
she'll love it.
that's awesome.
Yeah, she'll
And
be
that's
all
your
about it,
oldest
so-
daughter, right?
Oldest daughter. Yep.
I get confused because that's not her name, Annie.
It's Aniston.
But you call her Annie.
call her Annie.
And Alex, your daughter's name is,
Ainsley,
but you call her
Annie.
Annie. So they're both Annie.
Both Annie.
And that's easy. That's actually easy. Not hard to forget. Or it's not hard to remember. But I can't. Whenever I look at both of them, sometimes I can't remember which one of them's name is which one of those two things. So it's.
First half of this podcast is just me messing with his mic. Sorry.
I'm gonna go watch back the footage, and it's gonna be like this. Hey, look! It is difficult, but look at yourself over here in the picture.
That's what I was been trying.
No, look, I know, but look, what the proper way, and this is kind of podcasting 101, guys. This is how the sausage is made. You need to get it up under you. You need to talk down into
Well,
it
it keeps
like this.
getting caught in my beard too.
Well, I'm sure that doesn't help. I don't know what that's like because I can't grow facial hair. That's a bold face laugh. Hannah, what are you over there giggling at?
It's just like,
Come help me, Hannah. Go over there.
help me.
Go over there, Hannah. Walk over there and put the mic in a comfortable place
Yes,
for him.
please.
I'm
Big-
not good at this
I
either.
think-
I know.
Well,
Why did I ask Hannah to do that? I think part of your problem is this. Yeah, there you go. Now push it back. Yes.
I think I was worried about breaking your.
Hannah is twice as smart as the rest of us. No. You
Yeah,
can't
for
break
sure.
these things. These are honestly, these arms are only like
Yeah.
$100 mic arms.
Now I don't know what to do with my hands.
A little bit.
These arms are only like
Oh,
$100.
there's the sweet spot, right?
Yeah. Oh, is it moving
Yeah.
up on its own? Hannah, go tighten him up. He's bouncing. Listen, these mic arms are like $100
They're
mic
nice.
arms, but they come. You can get them like $5. You can spend like $500 or $700 on them. Okay, like it's not. These are kind of cheap on
It's a
the.
little fun.
Is it a little wrong? Okay. Anyways, anything else about Christmas before we get into opening the Christmas present? Anything?
There we go.
Did anybody
Love
else
it.
get
No.
anything or give anything? Do you have anything cool to give your kids? I know what you got for your kids because you've hidden it all in my storage unit.
True.
So your daughter's getting a half-size reindeer.
Yep.
It's like half the size of it.
Oh, Sven.
It's
oh.
huge, man.
What'd you say, Sven?
I've never seen Frozen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I should not
half-size
have.
reindeer.
I should not have said that on the internet. But yeah, I haven't seen it. I've sat down to watch it a couple
okay.
times, but I haven't. I keep figuring now that I live back in Kentucky with y'all's kids and my nieces and nephews that like I'm probably gonna end up watching these movies more. But no, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the second
It's
one
okay.
either.
I guess we can let it go.
I did still get that one. I can appreciate that. Well, so for my nieces and nephews, I got a lot of Pokemon cards for a lot of them. The girls are all into LOL dolls. Do you know these?
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of brought them up last podcast.
Okay.
When we
Yeah.
talked-
Did you get your daughters any?
No,
Are they into them?
they are, but I'm not into them after like the first day when they're done with them and just all the little pieces everywhere.
They are. Well, you could almost
having a baby.
right. You could almost look over to your right. There's one whole bag there somewhere with about 2 or 3 dozen little
LOL
dolls in it because we found a bag of them at the thrift.
Oh,
so
nice,
well,
nice.
all I have to say about gift giving is this is my first real opportunity this Christmas to like give a bunch of people presents, and it's all thrifted, almost all of it. Have we gotten anybody anything that we bought new at the store yet?
Symphony, mini brand.
What?
Oh, one of my nieces.
It's
One of my nieces we bought mini brands for, so we did buy those new. So that is pretty cool. But that's it. The rest of the stuff is all just piles of stuff from the thrift store.
We got it at a bargain store too, so
it's like
We did buy
semi thrift.
Yeah, we did buy it marked down. But yeah, the rest of all those toys around, all those bags and stuff you see around the tree, it's all thrifted nonsense for all the kids. And of
I
course,
love the tree, by the way.
oh yeah, you guys can't see it on camera, but if you watch a regular channel, you'll know we have a Charlie Brown tree
Is that the same tree?
from when we were younger. No, but I've owned 5 or 6 of them. It's the same. Yes, it's like the same make, but no, I never
Not
kept
the same tree
No,
where I came home and
yeah. Well, I guess we have to tell that story now. Zach, you probably won't even know this, but there was a time that Alex and his little brother and I lived together in an apartment, a tiny apartment at that.
I do remember that.
Yeah, you probably remember the apartment. The whole apartment itself was probably not bigger than this room times 2.
yeah, it's
Tiny little, it's probably the smallest apartment I've ever lived in. And we all lived in there together, no problems. We ate our meals together, watched a lot of TV together. But Alex, and this is maybe something we could dive into on this podcast a little bit. Alex was so into Christmas trees and Christmas time when we lived together. Like way more than even Andrew was, and definitely than I was. I kind of wasn't raised in a normal setting, so we didn't have huge holiday spirit growing up. So not that it was off-putting or anything when Alex was, but I thought it was odd that you and your brother didn't share that kind of weird passion for it. Alex was an avid Christmas tree decorator. Would you like to speak to that?
I thought I was until I met my wife, and then she told me I'm doing it all wrong.
Really?
Oh, God.
She's way more into it than you are?
You can't put lights on the tree like that. You have to put them in the tree.
I hope.
Give me a break.
What is up with the spacing on this ornaments?
You have
Yeah.
no idea.
Really? Oh, so she's like geometrical about it and stuff like that.
She's obsessive.
Okay. I get that. Well, anyways, I'm illustrating in this story that Alex was super into it, okay? Super into it. And I guess seeing this and perhaps maybe being a little jealous, he leaves the house at one point a few days before Christmas, and me and his little brother look at each other. Now, you might consider me a mischievous person, true or false?
I consider you mischievous. My brother's an asshole.
Oh, well, yeah, but he's super. I guess mischievous turns into assholishness up the scale. So he's way up that
Yeah,
scale,
I think
for sure.
Yeah.
And so Andrew looks at me, and I look at him. We both nod. We both get up. We don't say a word. That's the magic of this situation. We don't even speak to each other. We get up, and we Grinch stole Christmas, this Christmas tree. We pick it up with all the ornaments on it. No care for if any of them are glass or anything like that. We pick up the whole tree, and Alex set it up on this night. You know, he had a blanket. You know how you put a blanket around the stem of the tree and everything.
Nice little tree skirt.
It's sitting in front of our utility closet that has the air conditioner in it, and then you shove the broom in there.
Yep.
Andrew opens the door, and I just cram it in this closet upside down. And we just didn't say anything about it to each other. We weren't like, ooh, we're going to get him. And we went right back and sat down. And this is how well I remember this. Him and I, Andrew and I, were watching through Community, you know, the TV show
Yeah.
written by Dan Harmon. We were loving it every episode. So we were probably feeling extra mischievous because the people in the show are quite mischievous. And we just hit his Christmas tree. And Alex comes in, and we replaced it with a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. At the time, I was on staff at a church playing music.
Now let me interject here. This tree was like a 7-8 foot tall tree.
Will you grab that Christmas tree? It'll plop right
Yeah.
out. Just reach over there and grab it. And we now, mind you, Alex had a little skirt. You call it a skirt, right? Around the base of the Christmas tree.
Yep.
Real nice. We just replaced it with this one. Put the skirt right around one of these. It was identical to this one. I guess we should. That'll work. And it's blocking my face. This is great. I hope someone starts this podcast and is like, I don't want to listen to all this starter stuff.
You should do a little quick. Oh hey.
Oh, hey, it just started here. Yeah. Oh, hey, welcome to the Tendo podcast, my talk show with my oldest friends, Alex, who's to my right, and Zach. Anyways, and we replaced it with this Christmas tree, and Alex comes back from I think you went to get us Little Caesars.
How does it work?
Is it? Yeah, I guess you're right. But you went, I don't know. You were going to do something. I think you were bringing food home or something. Because what I remember is you were doing something nice and we were just being jerks. And he walks into the house. Here's this Christmas tree. And it doesn't take him a split second at all. He just instantly goes, "What did you do?" And Andrew and I, being who we are just like, "What? What are you talking about?" And Alex, never to really get too angry. Never. I don't know if I've hardly ever heard you raise your voice. Starts walking around the house looking. Certainly we shoved it behind the couch. Certainly we did something clever with it. Or you know what I mean? Or maybe I think you checked the bathroom, which was like at the back corner of the house. And we start giggling at this point. We're trying really hard to keep up this fake. Like, what's wrong with you? The Christmas tree's right there, bro. Because that's kind of the hilarity. Like, you're a crazy person. It didn't go anywhere. But what I do also remember, I don't mean to make fun of you here, but you looked everywhere but that closet.
Probably.
Everywhere but that closet.
I remember that closet not being something that I ever really used. So
Oh, no, yeah, no. Because it had the utilities in it. So
Yeah.
you just didn't think about it. It wasn't, to call it a closet is very unfair because it was a utility space, a dead space they call
surely
it.
these idiots wouldn't put a Christmas tree in a closet on top of a furnace.
Yeah, right. Well, you remember it didn't even have a regular door. It had a metal,
Yeah.
like, closet, old, I don't know, 90s style door. I don't know what to call it. And finally, I think Andrew told you it was in there, and you opened it, and you're beautiful. It was a fake tree, right?
Yeah.
So it had the bendy arms, and your beautiful tree was just disregarded and put in there. And here's the real honest truth about it. It must have not had glass bulbs or anything too nice on it, because like we didn't even. I don't know if we didn't care if we broke anything or if we looked at it and were like. Shook it a little bit. It was like, oh, it's fine.
Like, this is gonna be fine. Yeah.
Do you recall at that time if you went and bought all that? Was that hand-me-down ornaments from your mom, or where did you get it? Because we weren't rolling in the dough back then.
Oh, hell no.
We were so broke. This is the brokest point probably of both of our lives.
Yeah. I think it was all hand-me-down stuff, really.
Was it just your mom's last year's
Goodwill,
ornaments?
mom, yeah, the whole thing.
That's cool. Well, I'm glad you remembered that because I would not have thought of that. So I haven't thought of that in years. Me and your little brother
Never forgot.
Me and your little brother got up to some stuff. All right. Well, unless we have any more Christmas anecdotes, I guess I'm going to open this. Listen, you guys have to give me a couple of clues.
Do you have any idea what
what's
it
your
might be?
first guess?
I'm telling you, I think I said this in the pre-roll. I don't know if it's made it on camera yet, but it is very against my nature to not look. It's been sitting right here. Alex left this present at my house a few days ago, and it's been very difficult for me not to look. I've tried to get Hannah to give me clues, and she's given me a couple. I basically asked her if this what made it special was because of me or specifically because of my relationship with you guys, and I feel like she gave me some clues there she didn't know.
What did you say?
Well, she did.
I'll tell you nothing. To that.
Well, which tells me
Which tells
me which it is. Because one wouldn't matter and one would, and you not telling me, right? So,
That's why I didn't tell you because I knew if
no, you're not playing games with me, Devin. Listen, woman, you don't have a microphone.
she doesn't
Don't
have a
speak.
microphone. The world.
But anyways, you guys both give
will
me
not be
one
silent.
clue as to what it is, and try your very hardest to not let it be anything that's going to give it away. And let me see if I can derive anything from
I've
it.
already kind of snuck my clue in there.
I missed it.
Huh?
Wait, he's not gonna tell you now. Whisper it in his ear, I guess. This is my bad.
Because it was
ear.
right after, he said, "Give me a clue," and then I said that, and then it.
And you gave me a clue and I didn't notice?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not that smart.
Well,
am I?
it completely changed the topic of what we were talking about.
Before
so-
I even tear into it, you both have to give me a clue and see if I can guess.
All right, let's,
and it can be as far away or as close as you want it to be. If you want to get dangerous and get a little close,
I don't know.
these guys know I'm a guesser.
The only things I can come up with would be too corny, really.
Yeah.
So I can't think of anything. That
Here's my clue for you.
Will I know if I keep feeling it?
Doubtful.
Okay, cardboard, hard. There's a button.
Oh, that works. Yeah,
touching it.
It's
that would
on.
work.
Here's your clue.
Okay.
It is a thrifted item.
Oh, well, that's great. That makes it better. Alex gave me a clue, too. He told me very specifically that they wanted a newer model, and he used the word model. I didn't know and I didn't know. They wanted to buy a newer model, and they thought they had a newer model, but found an older model. This on and off button's getting me.
Oh,
Am I getting close?
Okay, you're good.
Oh, you're gonna have to guess
All
what
right,
it
let's
is.
go ahead and do it.
You gonna guess what it is?
I hate. Yeah, I want to make a guess. Yeah, but I don't.
All right, he's good.
What? What did you say?
I feel like you're gonna get it.
I feel like I should, but this isn't like a guitar or audio related on and off switch, really.
It has nothing to do with Star Wars.
Okay, we're going. It's a popcorn machine. I never would have guessed that.
Really?
Yeah.
You said give me a clue, and I was like, "Have you seen Spider-Man? Been to a new movie theater?"
That was your clue.
And then just now I said all of my clues would be too corny.
I'm gonna try really hard to remember to go zoom into you when you say that.
Just to give it away, but yeah. Did you catch that when I said that? Yeah. Okay, good.
See my face?
That's
It's
hilarious.
like that was a good one.
Okay, well, hold on. When you say there's accessories in the bag, there's enough stuff here to make popcorn, is what you're telling me.
Open the bag.
Well,
Yeah, the bag's right here. Yeah, open the bag.
Okay, come pick this up and set it over here. Let's set it back in the chair. Let's maybe perhaps plug it up and make some popcorn. Here, let me show the camera. So when you say you were looking for a newer model, what was I gonna get?
You were gonna get the one on the vintage cart, the old school
Yeah.
cart.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had it lined up. We had it ordered, and then the store called and said, "Hey, it's showing we have it in stock, but we actually
Are
don't."
you serious?
We were
Yeah.
both kind of upset.
Yeah, we were upset.
Well, this is funny because this is very heartwarming because I told these guys when we first set things up here and when I first moved here, I wanted to get a popcorn machine for this room because I'm trying to turn it into theater, there's a TV, there's stuff going on, so that kind of made sense.
I mean, Alex was about to drive to like Bloomington, Indiana. He was like,
Yeah.
I think Nashville's got one. We
Bowling
were
Green
looking
had
everywhere.
one. Bloomington had one. There's quite a few.
Look at that.
Okay, I've got the on switches on. Alex, do you have any idea how this works?
If I remember right, it's a quarter cup of oil in the pot. We might want to Google it.
This is the real deal, man.
We should probably Google it.
Open their accessories.
I've already opened butter,
You know how many bottles of that I've bought?
oil, and Flavicool seasoning salt. Let's go.
Seasoning.
The biggest bag of popcorn kernels that Walmart probably had.
Royal King.
That's what I'm talking about. Is this the popcorn they make?
I don't know.
If you don't know,
That's the popcorn they make. Yeah, we're making some right now.
no joke. And then some
Good shit.
cheesy jalapeno popcorn seasoning. I've never had that, but I will try it. So Alex is saying we should Google it. I'm saying we should probably not and just mess this up.
Okay.
Because we're not going to mess the machine up. The worst is going to happen is the floor is going to be covered with popcorn. Right?
And that makes good video.
I am concerned why there's two switches.
One's a light.
Oh.
Lights up. Look at that.
Let's go. Look at that. Do you know, listen, before I'll talk while I do this. Actually, Hannah, why don't you just come make us some popcorn? And so
Really gonna mess up.
oh, it's fine. What did you say, about a quarter cup?
I think it was like a quarter cup of oil and a half a cup of popcorn or something like that.
What would you Google to find that out? How
The
to,
lady told me when I bought it.
lol.
What were the businesses that we almost got them from? Isn't there like a business?
You guys tried multiple places
I
to get one of
tried
these?
every commercial freaking
There was a couple. I can't remember
Concession
who they.
stand
Yeah,
little place
concession
in
stand type places where we're like,
Western Kentucky and Southern Indiana.
you got an old popcorn machine we can buy?
Dude, yeah.
Is this so? This one's used, which is no big deal. It's great. But do you think that popcorn machines are one of those things that are, I hate to say this, but better when they're dirty?
Probably.
Better
I
when
think so.
they're worn in? Better when they're used?
Yeah, I would definitely think so.
So what are we doing here, Hannah? Here, point her mic. Give her your mic. Just point it at her. Hold it for her.
I mean, seeing as I don't have any measuring devices at the moment, I'm just swinging this.
Okay, so what did you think, Alex? A quarter cup popcorn? How much?
quarter cup of oil and
Oh.
a half cup of popcorn. So like a 1-to-2 ratio.
Okay, let's do
essentially.
it. Let's try to do it. We have
Here's
to.
hoping.
If we don't get popcorn on this podcast, then I don't know what we are
This
doing.
is how Grandma made popcorn. Just best guess measurements.
Yeah, except Grandma threw it in a skillet. And a little
Yeah,
dash.
you're
All
right.
right, now just put some kernels in there. What's the worst that's going to happen? We're going to get some dry popcorn.
Really oily popcorn.
You know what my dad said the other day? I don't know what he was talking about. Actually, I do, but it was too obscene to share on the podcast. But he referred to something as being dry as a popcorn fart.
Popcorn fart?
Have you ever heard somebody say that?
No.
My dad is a whole ass 65-year-old man. Is it that old? No, he would hate to hear me say that. He turned 60 this year. I added a few years.
Yeah.
Hannah's just bare knuckling the popcorn into the thing. Does anyone feel like that's enough, or you feel like you should keep going? Oh wow, really?
Yeah. 1 or 2 more handfuls would probably be good.
We're gonna mess this up so bad. If anybody's watching it as a popcorn aficionado, please.
Let us know what we're doing
Yeah.
wrong.
About a quarter cup of popcorn so far.
So let's talk a little bit more about Rural King while she's doing this. Have you guys been to Rural King lately?
Yesterday.
Well, because you went and bought this, right? Their popcorn machine is COVID safe now. Yeah. There's a little button and it just spits popcorn into your bag. Why don't I get one of those?
There were
Because it was probably
literally
custom made.
Nobody was answering their DMs on Marketplace.
So you contacted a bunch of people on Marketplace asking about popcorn machines that were already listed, and just no one responded.
Nobody responded, or they wouldn't like work with me on the price that I was looking for.
Really?
Yeah, I can tell you how many. Let's see.
You're gonna have to give me a screenshot or a count or something
Hang on a minute.
of just nothing but popcorn machine messages.
Holy
Listen.
crap.
It's straight spinning.
Man.
It's whirring.
I bet this thing's about to overflow.
Momo's very concerned.
This is crazy. Anyways, let me say this also while we're still on the popcorn machine, because we got to get around to talking about this car.
13, by the way.
13 different people you contacted.
Yep.
And
that's the non-commercial place.
right. Well, I don't want to get into a whole conversation about Craigslist and Marketplace and OfferUp and stuff, but I can say that's typically my experience as well. Messaging dozens of people to hope to get one thing, one of the 12. It's one of 100 different people. I don't know why people don't want to sell stuff on Marketplace, but sometimes it feels like they don't.
Let me hold the microphone up to the machine.
I did once. Should we just sit here like this?
Just watch it.
I'll put the mic back when it's
Hopefully it'll
time to pop
start popping soon.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
Nice little.
But anyways, let me say this about having a popcorn machine in this room. TV, video, lots of video games, lots of stuff going on in this room, in our podcast room. And I'm doing it all because I love that my nieces and nephews come over and they want to play video games. They're playing some retro games they would have never heard of otherwise and stuff like that. It's been pretty awesome, and it just felt like a popcorn machine would like really tie this place together. So I'm telling you, when my nieces and nephews come up tomorrow to play some Mario Kart, and I'm like, guys, want some popcorn? They're going to lose their minds. And I have found that, let me tell you, I love popcorn.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's one of the major food groups as far as I'm concerned. All my nieces and nephews do too. My dad's got them hooked. He's got them hooked just like he got me hooked when I was a kid. So this is perfect, guys. Thank you so much. Hold my hand. You guys rock. And
Anytime.
if I'd have known it was this, I feel like the whole podcast should have just been about this, because it sounds like you've got a heck of a story just trying to find it.
Mostly Alex. I just sent Alex money. He sent it back. I sent him some more money. He sent it back. That was my role.
That's awesome.
Moral support.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Were you like live texting the whole time that people were like no shows? And,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Facebook messaging, and then I dropped off the box that I guess was way too big.
Hannah, come over here and grab this box. You're just Vanna White today. Just pick it up and show them this giant box that Zach supplied. That's awesome. It covers the whole camera screen. Well, that's
I asked
awesome.
him what the measurements were, and he's like, I don't know,
Like
a couple
3
feet. So, okay.
That is a big
I
box.
was driving at the time. but it
No,
was
it's
good.
fair. So I just grabbed the biggest box I could
Does it feel
find.
hot in there?
No, but I don't know how this is supposed to work. Do you feel like it should already be popping?
I don't know.
It's just gonna go the whole entire podcast. Well,
The
we can come
does
back
the
around to
kettle
Christmas.
seems like it's getting hot.
We can come back around to Christmas and podcast popcorn and stuff in a little bit. But let's talk a little bit about this car, because that's really what's going to bring people to this podcast. Zach, I don't think you knew about this at all until a couple days ago. We told you about it, right?
No, yeah.
Because we're doing podcasts together, and we're talking about a lot of stuff, and we've got a text chain, the three of us together, but we kind of just had this saga that went on for a few days where like all we thought about was this car. So I came to town 3-4 weeks ago now, and when I got here, we also had company that was coming to visit, and because of that, they can't ride around in our smart car. And Alex seeing this is like, just let's trade cars for a week. And we did a whole podcast after the first week, because I borrowed it for 2 weeks, almost to the day.
Yeah.
And the first week, Alex, we did a podcast, which you should go back and watch if you haven't seen it, where he told us the kind of crazy stories, his experience of driving the smart car. Well, his car was a Scion, right? And I don't know if I know you had to have seen it at least once, Zach, but I had a Scion that was identical to it, just different
Yes.
colors.
Yep.
Same model, make. It was you were even both manual transmissions, which is crazy.
Yep.
So I'm driving this car around. I'm feeling very familiar with it. Have a good time. Don't even come close to putting a scratch on the thing. And it's one of those things. I don't know if you ever have the opportunity to borrow expensive things from people, but there is always a worry that you're going to break the thing, you're going to owe them money, you're going to, it can be a difficult situation. So I'm not worried about it though, because I'm kind of a car guy. I know how to take care of cars. Matter of fact, the deal with me and Alex kind of doing tradesies is I told him up front, like I'll paint some of the bad spots, and I did some work to it too. And Alex and I are talking about, he's talking about wanting to get into reselling cars. Hold on one second.
Let's say we're about to
Oil's
oil's getting hot, I think.
Yeah, we're about to optimum popping temperatures. But I'm kind of investing in this car now because Alex wants to get into doing some car flipping and stuff. So just everything's working out great. And literally, Alex goes out of town, and the day before he's coming back, I'm in Nashville. The last day I've got the car. Literally, my plans are to come home from Nashville, get my stuff out of it, vacuum it, detail clean it, and touch up some paint that was scratched in the car when it came the way that Alex bought it. And I walk outside to do our normal video stuff. I've got my camera. I'm about to say, hey, guys, it's Thursday. We're going to this store. And I can see about...
We're getting some popping.
I hope it's normal. What if it's way too much? That's a lot of smoke. Nah. I mean, there's a vent there for the steam. It's steaming. What do you want?
Oh, it's
My
popping.
cat's in here freaking out.
Oh, we're finally getting some popping.
Hold on.
Smells good.
Yeah.
Oh, there it goes.
Let's go.
Woohoo! There it is.
Hell yeah.
We should have got him a scoop.
Oh.
Oh, we didn't think about it.
Oh,
It does. It does have
drawer.
a full drawer, but it does need a scoop. And I think I know where to get one. Guess where I was today?
Where?
Rural King. And they had scoops. I think it was for rabbit food. Which is weird, I know, but I saw it and thought about it for Legos. For Lego. To be a Lego scoop. What do we do? You
The handle on the other side. Tip it.
Hannah, do it.
Yeah, there.
That stops what's left from getting burnt?
Yeah, it dumps it out.
Turn it off.
I'm so glad you were here for the first pop. I never would have known this. Alex, this is kind of your wheelhouse, really. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Well, you working at Dairy Queen all those years, you know how ice cream machines work.
Oh, yeah.
And you're more comfortable. This is a comfortable thing for you, I think. This is a spaceship. This might as well be alien technology.
Simple as hell.
Says the man who has ate an elephant's metric weight in popcorn. Says he's afraid of a popcorn machine. I'm talking about me, not you.
Okay.
I'm not saying you're this. Anyways, this is awesome. But let's go ahead.
It did have Tom's popcorn up here, so get some letters, please.
Oh, you had to rip off the Tom's part? Well, I can't turn around because of how it's plugged in. It says popcorn right here. So what should we put up there above Tom's?
It does. That smells delicious.
Popcorn. What a stupid question.
Yeah.
Does this come all the way out? All right. Who?
Oh, that looks good. That looks.
Oh, it smells like Rural King's popcorn. Like popcorn smell. Here, hold this while I Well, I probably shouldn't butter up this thing.
That is Royal King's popcorn.
It literally is the brand they use.
100%. Tastes just like it. I had 2 bags yesterday. I know.
I know what it tastes like. Yeah, I did too. I had one today. I guess jalapeno salt. Here, hold this for me. I don't want to put the butter in there because I don't want to get this tray buttery. Well, it's all right. We'll be fine. Let's continue with this story. I walk out front of my brother's house, who I'm staying the night at.
That's good.
And there is just car parts laying all over the road, and I'm like, well, actually, that's not true. My first recognizing that there was something wrong was that I saw glass all behind the car. Okay, just tons of glass. And I was like, oh no. My first thought was, we've been broken into. Oh my gosh, how much of this is adequate?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's probably too much. Shake it up. Shake it good. Here, I got it.
be-
Yeah, thanks.
What a great sound. Hold on. ASMR popcorn Tendo show. Take one. Hold on. Wait. If you're sensitive to this kind of thing, please leave now.
Doesn't give him no time to leave.
Definitely a few people are going to hit the unsub button there. Okay. There's glass all over the place, and I'm thinking, oh no, we've been broken into,
Jalapeno salt.
which would be frustrating because we've been broken into a couple of times, Hannah and me and our cars. And there's probably like, oh no, our car's broken into. And I run out there to see if like there's stuff missing out of the back of the car, because it would have been pretty easy at this point for someone to see, oh, there's IKEA bags full of things in the back of this car, smash, grab, run. But I get around the corner and basically the whole left of the car has just been obliterated, right? So this is just terrible timing because I'm about to give this car back and I don't know what to do. I'm standing there just like losing my mind. What do? I'm going to call Alex and just, you know. Of course this happens the day before I'm going to give it back. Here, Alex, you hold it since you're in the middle. Alex in the middle. And so I call Alex. I'm like, man, your car's busted. I don't know what to do. Do I call the police? Like, I don't know what to do. But also in this situation, like, I know to call. I would have called you probably anyways.
Yeah.
Because you have, for a few years, been were an insurance adjuster.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, Alex knows what's going on. And he kind of gave me the spiel anyways when he handed me his insurance cards when I was borrowing the car. But you guys watch our regular videos are going to know a portion of this because it all happened while we were shooting our video. Now, we didn't actually, before that video was finished, we didn't actually resolve the situation. So that's why I kind of told people, go watch our podcast channel. We'll talk about it there. So I don't know how to tell the story from there, Alex. How much do we want to tell?
Okay.
I mean, obviously, we're not going to blast the guy who did it, but we did find him. And finding him was actually kind of funny because the neighborhood we were in, where the car was hit, it was a hit and run situation. And the neighborhood we were in, where the car was sitting overnight, where it was hit, is my brother's neighborhood. And so one of the funny things about the whole situation that like was odd because I've never really experienced this. The moment it happens, my brother takes a picture and uploads it to a Facebook group of the neighborhood, like the Neighborhood Alliance, which is so funny. Now, you guys are homeowners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys have Facebook group homeowners or block party?
My neighborhood doesn't.
Yeah, mine doesn't
I wouldn't
either.
mess with it anyway. No.
Yeah. And I feel like I probably wouldn't dig that either. Now, don't get me started on how, like, I already just have all but had fights with people on my block here in my hometown about parking. People get weird here, and maybe you guys, we can get into this a little bit. Do people get weird on your block if you park in front of their house? I mean, I don't know.
So much mine, but we don't really.
Well, like I think about your house, Alex, and you have like neighbors on either sides that like you may not know them well, but you know who they are. They know who you are, and they know your cars, so they're not going to be weird about your cars.
Right.
I have a whole story that one of these days I feel like we should do a whole podcast about. There's this old woman that lived next to my childhood home that I lived in until I was about 8. And my dad had a whole saga with her for 20 years before I was born. I had a whole saga with her when I was about 18 to 23 when me and you lived there briefly and some other people lived. We had shuffling roommates.
Yeah.
And then my little brother lives there now, and he's basically had a 30-year saga with a woman since he was a kid with me, and then until now he's still having a saga with her. But it's all about literally just parking in front of her house is where all the bad blood came from.
Yep.
So I've got people leaving notes. Matter of fact, I don't know if you saw it because I think I left it in there. Someone left a note on your Scion that said very simply, go park. No, please, nothing. Just all lower caps, go park in front of your house. There's no room for you here. And it's just weird passive aggressiveness that I don't know how to deal with because I lived in LA for 4 years and I lived in Phoenix for 4 years, two of the largest cities in America. Parking is a problem no matter where you go. It's overcrowded, and there's just nothing can be done about it. So nobody's mad. I've never had a parking issue in either of those two cities. People fight for, you get your parking spot and it's yours. Sometimes in LA, Hannah, what would you say is the furthest we ever had to park away from our home? Quarter mile? Half mile?
A couple blocks.
Half mile probably once or twice when it was just we got home in the middle of the night and every spot's taken. You just have to go somewhere that's off the path. So I'm not used to this kind of weird stuff now, right? So I'm not used to parking beef in small towns, and I'm not used to just the idea at all of having a neighborhood alliance, much less it being on Facebook. Doesn't that seem odd? It's not a criticism. It's just like I don't know. I don't know about this. So my brother posts a picture of the car and says, hit and run outside my house, and if anybody knows anything, let me know. And that's it. At this point, I've talked to Alex. We're kind of like, we don't know what to do because he only has liability, so it's not covered in this kind of incident. In this particular situation, the only way that it's going to get fixed is if the person comes forward and says, I'm going to take responsibility for this. And so about 2 hours pass, and it's frustrating because we were planning on being home earlier because it was my father's birthday. We needed to rush home, have dinner with him, and then I was going to clean and fix up the car to return it and get my smart car back. Because like we're kind of excited because we missed our smart car because it is just this fun little buggy, you know. But we can't leave. We're sitting around, and then finally I just kind of like the shock wears off, and I get up and go back outside to kind of look the situation over, and I start to kind of, now that I'm thinking clearly. Well, I'm skipping a little bit. Let me not forget to tell about the cop, and I'm sure you can have a few things to say about the cop in a minute. But a cop shows up to file a police report, just in case something does come about. There needs to be a police report, or it didn't happen. That's how these kinds of things work. The cop is just completely not helpful, just deadbeat. The first thing he says to me before he tells me his name or anything is simply that these kinds of situations most of the time don't get solved, so don't get your hopes up. His exact words. And so I'm like,
He just walked in saying that?
yes. I mean, without saying hello, he said, I want to tell you right off the bat. And I was instantly frustrated by him. So I was like, okay, cool. And he did. He filed a little police report, handed it to us, and he left. And I was like, well, this is definitely over. And so in my head, I'm like, I guess I'll just buy this thing from Alex. Yeah, I can shove it back in there. The door has to be open. I just don't know what I'm gonna do. Because I'm in some ways. I mean, in plenty of ways, I'm responsible for this car, and I'm losing my mind. But so after the cop, I go back outside, clear-headed. I look down, and I start to realize so there's some parts of the car that weren't the Scion, and sure enough, the biggest piece is this big silver piece. I mean, it's probably 4 or 5 inches, and I turn it over and it's got a part number on it. Mm-hmm. And now, being someone who's fixed up a lot of my vehicles and stuff, I'm familiar with this. I know exactly what to do. I go to a parts website, search it. I get the exact year and model of the car, and there's enough remains to notice what color the car is. So it's a black Chevy Colorado truck or GMC Colorado truck. And I'm like, bingo, this should narrow it down. But then I'm instantly mad because the cop didn't take the time to figure this out. You know what I mean? So then I'm like asking myself, well, if I walk around here and find this truck or something, or if we find someone that knows their neighbor has this truck, if it's not on the police report, what does it matter that I know? So I'm like, do I call the cop back? But basically, I found that information out, and my brother, who I must very, very, very clearly say was super helpful in this situation. Mm-hmm. He put his detective hat on, drove around the neighborhood, texted all his friends in the neighborhood, and was doing that the whole while I left. So I basically made the 2-hour drive home, and I think I should stop here before I tell the rest and let, because it's about this point you call the cop, right? As up to a certain point before I get home, I think you called the cop, and he was not helpful to you at all, right? Either.
Try to remember how it all went down. Okay. We were about 2 hours from New York because I was on the train.
Right, you were still traveling.
Yeah. And you texted me and said we found the guy. I was like, cool.
Well, I haven't got to the part where I found the guy. I guess maybe you talked to the cop the next day. Well, I guess we're having trouble figuring out the order. Because all I'm talking about right now is the cop, right? Because you at some point had to call the cop and say, yes, I'm the one that owns the vehicle. And he did the same thing to you, right? He was just like, we're probably not going to find the guy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and so then Alex calls me back immediately. I'm driving home, and he's like, well, that cop, I think you called him a diphthong.
Probably.
A dip.
Yeah, and I had. It's not that I hadn't heard that word, but I probably hadn't heard that word since I lived here, or probably hadn't heard it since I heard you say it 10 years ago. And it's funny because I was meeting my little brother and my dad for lunch because my dad's birthday, and I just talked to you, and I walk in and tell my little brother, I was like, yeah, my brother just talked to Alex just talked to the cop and said he was a real diphthong, and I just remember Dakota laughing his ass off at that too, like he had never heard the word. That was pretty good. But I'm at lunch, so I made a 2-hour drive home after 2 hours of sitting in Nashville. And then I'm home eating lunch, and then my brother calls me, and he says, well, I've got good news. But my brother, he said it in this matter-of-fact way where I was like, I thought he was going to say bad news too, but he's like, we found the guy. I guess it was a good news, bad news situation because the good news was we found him, but the bad news was that, like, he knows the guy.
Yeah.
And so my brother was kind of unsure exactly what to do at the moment. I mean, he was of course still going to tell me, and we were still going to get to the bottom of this. But he was like, "We got to talk this over a little bit." So basically, what happened was that exact moment that I found out what the piece was, the model piece from the car, from the part number. He then texted several friends saying, "Hey, do you know anyone who in this neighborhood who owns a black this car?" And it took a couple hours, but a friend of his who he had texted asking if he knew someone that had this car called him and said, "Vinny, I don't know how to tell you this, but it was me. I hit the car, and I would love to do whatever we need to do to make it right." And so my brother was calling me. He said, "Now listen, you're not going to ruin any relationships. Do what you do. This guy would like to handle this outside of insurance if he can." And they're kind of presenting it as this situation that might be a little sticky, might not. But my brother is very clear. Do what you want. He's like, I've hung out with this guy a couple times, and that's it. So I know him. I live near him. It's not like he's my best buddy. So do you and Alex do what you got to do. So then basically followed this next day and a half of me kind of talking to Vinny, then talking to you and calling Vinny back. And then finally we get the guy's contact number and you call the guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much further you want to go into than that, but I mean, we definitely were well compensated, well enough compensated for the situation. My brother texted me the other day and said something about me coming to visit him, and I said, "Sure, but I'm parking in the damn garage," which is even funnier considering it'll be my smart car because I could just park it on his porch if I had to.
Did the guy tell you what happened? Was he just like texting, or was he just not paying attention, or?
He did not. We can draw our assumptions off of that.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah.
But
yeah, I think the real thing is
well,
go ahead.
And it could have been something as simple as texting and driving. What really came out of it was this guy has a very important job in the government, sort of, kind of.
Yeah, so any even small
gotcha.
blemish on a record can be difficult for that kind of security clearance type. Who knows what? So
I see.
yeah, but everyone involved felt that it would be okay to take care of it that way. We even kind of talked to cops, law enforcement, to make sure we were above board, accepting outside of insurance. We just made sure we weren't going to get in trouble, and the situation was taken care of. But this is another one of those things. Like I can tell you, I've never been. I've been in a couple wrecks, and I haven't been in any wrecks that were my fault yet. Knock on wood. And I don't know why I did that. I'm not superstitious at all, but I guess that's what they say. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
And I haven't had to deal with this really. Anything quite like it at all. So I will say the kind of takeaways for me is I was in shock. I have been in wrecks, but it's always been very clear whose fault it is. I got T-boned here in town once and got a bruised kidney, and it was kind of serious. But the guy immediately was like, "I ran the red light. I'm so sorry. It's my fault. Insurance cut me a check." It was never complicated, And I remember what that shock was like. That physical brunt force, can't breathe. That was a certain kind of shock. But I've never quite experienced this kind of shock to where I walked out and an item you expect to be completely normal is just shattered. It gave me a weird shock. When I talked to you on the phone the first time, Alex, I was in shock.
Yeah.
So that was pretty weird. Yeah. That was a weird thing with the situation. Yep. But I guess like I said, it turned out all right. You've already bought a new car with your compensation.
New to me.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Went from what would you classify a Scion as?
A mid-size compact?
Not a sporty compact, but
it's a mid-size compact. It's bigger than a compact. It's in between an SUV and a compact.
Yeah.
Because there's the Scion was my first car that I drove around and would get out of, and people would be like, "How'd you fit in there, big boy?" Because the Scion has a ton of room. And that's why I've always liked it. But it is very low to the ground, and it looks small.
Right.
So the Scion's way worse. It's actually the Scion set way more off the ground than your. I'm sorry, my smart car set way more off the ground than your Scion. Mm-hmm. So there's some differences there. But yeah, but you went from that amount of space now to a minivan.
Yes, I did.
You're a first-time minivan owner.
I am.
Zach, have you ever owned a minivan?
I have not.
No. Both you and
I need to own a minivan.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't.
Well, and here's the scary thing about that. I had to talk my wife into the minivan.
Really?
Yeah, she was dead set against it.
Really?
Yeah.
What was her reservations?
That I don't have an answer to that.
Really?
Because in this conversation about this minivan, I said, give me 2 logical reasons why you don't want this minivan. And she stopped and thought and said, I honestly don't have any. I said, we're getting the van.
And that was that. Interesting. That's it.
You hit her with the logical word.
Yeah. I mean, no, definitely like props to her for like, we all know why. You know, it's just stupid.
It's just
people opinions of what, soccer mom
stereotype.
And probably partially internally, like, am I really ready to give in to being in that part of my life? You know what I mean? I mean, props to her for getting over that.
Well, but she's never had a friend like you who like drove a minivan and made it cool either.
Oh, okay.
So,
You're telling me your wife thinks my van driving is cool?
No, but we do.
Can I quote you on that?
I'm saying she never had a friend like that.
So you're saying you thought my van driving was cool?
It was more acceptable than if I hadn't known somebody like you that drove a minivan before.
Okay, got you. Okay, I wanted to be clear on the classification there. Okay, because I've driven some weird vans.
Having kids and trying to have more kids, it just made sense.
No, for sure.
Why not?
And when you and I have already taken a trip in it, we went to Nashville for some Christmas festivities. I wish you didn't have such a serious job, Zach. I wish you could go with us in this stuff.
One day. I wish I didn't have such a serious job either.
We got to find a way to get you a less serious job that pays as much, if not more. Because I wish there's so much stuff we're talking about doing. We eat lunch so often, just doing stuff, and I'm always like, Zach's working.
Unfortunately.
I'm not trying to like shame you either. I'm sorry if it comes across the wrong way, but I just always wish you were there.
I know.
And your kids too. Sometimes.
Well, I hate it whenever I have to not do something because I'm working, but it's...
Well, we'll have to find
more flexible with the hours would be nice, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you got a decent
Grateful
job.
for it right now.
Yeah, I hear you. We need to take a minivan trip together. Is what I'm saying.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't know what I'll do to post. Maybe I'll post a couple pictures in our Discord of the damage that was done to the car. I know there's going to be some people watching this. They're going to kind of be like, I'd like to see this, or I'm not going to throw them up on here because this is really more about the story. But you guys go join our Discord if you haven't already. I think Alex is a member.
Yeah.
I don't think Zach's ever. Have you ever been on the Discord? Probably, maybe. Everyone comes through at one point or another, but definitely go join the Discord if you haven't already. But I don't know, guys. What do you think? Popcorn machine success.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to buy a shovel and a little like cup dispenser.
Get all of that at the Dollar Tree. I tell you right.
Really?
Yeah.
A shovel and all.
$5 to be out there.
I'm super excited. I'm gonna do it. We need to come up with some sort of cup dispenser or something. So, because like. It doesn't make a lot of popcorn, which is great because more so the use of this is not going to be for like movie night as much as it is the kids are going to come up here and say, I want popcorn.
Right.
And so I'm going to make them all small amounts.
Yes.
So we need something attached to the side. And I'll probably post pictures of this on the Discord too because we're in a podcast setup. This is not going to look good. But it is cool. It's a cool one. I mean, I would have liked to have seen what the cart one you guys were looking for looks like.
Oh, I can show you.
But the movie marquee on this, I think, actually gets me going a little bit more.
Yeah.
I really do. Well, this is probably the best Christmas present I've ever gotten. Next to the hot dog. I'm not saying that it's probably tied with the hot dog backpack. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Because who doesn't want that? Well,
Glizzy case.
My glizzy bag. If only. Maybe I should fill it with popcorn, man.
Hey.
I think this is gonna be my toiletries bag when I travel. I'm gonna put the drawers, the toothpaste, the soap. You know what I mean? And a little stash of popcorn in the hot dog. Well, so let's talk about this real quick before we wrap this podcast up. What are you guys doing for Christmas? Give us a little rundown of what's supposed to happen, and then next week's podcast we'll talk about whether or not it went well. Do both of you have like 6 different Christmases to go to, or what do you got?
I've got 4.
1.
You don't live that kind of life?
No, I don't live that kind of life. My family doesn't really do a whole lot of Christmas, so it's just my girlfriend's family Christmas, and then just what we'll do with my kids.
That's nice, man. I'm jealous. You don't.
Yeah. I'm sure my family will try to do something, but I'm not gonna go.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of know what you mean there. Pretty much, I probably have a little bit less, I think, this year than I normally would. But basically, my family is going to do chili here.
Is that a normal thing? Because I just came from a family Christmas and they had chili, and I've never heard of having chili on Christmas. It was like the best chili I ever had.
I don't know. It's not a tradition or anything, but I think almost never as a family unit, my grandmother, my father, my brother, and I had a huge meal. We always do something simple. I remember one year it just being ham sandwiches. It has, I'm sure we've done pizza once. But
Chinese food.
well, I was going to say what I've got for Christmas is that, and then Alex and I are probably going to get Chinese food later that night, which you're welcome to come.
I might be free.
Sweet.
If you've only got one Christmas thing, you better be.
That's
Bring
right.
all the kids. Let's get some Chinese food.
right.
Here's my suggestion.
Yeah.
Chinese food and Spider-Man.
I'm down, 100% down. You guys have to go see it, and I'll go with you. I'd love to see it again because I don't know if we'll do a whole spoiler cast, but like I'm so tired of not talking about this movie.
Yeah.
It's all I want to talk about. It's
I need
all
to
that
see
I've
it
thought
then.
about. It's good. It's very good.
Especially since it was my hint for your popcorn machine. That you did not get.
I'll never forgive you for that. You just murdered me in my intelligence. Is what you. I can't wait to watch that footage back because I'm going to look so stupid. I need to definitely do like a thought bubble to flash back to the moment you said that. Zach, the master of puns. So you've got just your family, your kids, and then you've got yours and your wife's family's Christmas, and then. So you said 4, right?
Yep. So we
So-
have my wife's dad's families
Oh,
tonight.
you've already done that.
Yeah, and then we got her grandmother's tomorrow, her mom's tomorrow night, mine the day after tomorrow, and then Spider-Man.
That's kind of
Chinese
5 if you
food,
count
so
us.
5,
Yeah, that's a lot, man.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
a
your
lineup
shirts are done,
of.
by the way.
My what?
Your shirts are done, by the way.
Oh, your wife made us shirts?
Yeah.
Oh, for Christmas.
Yeah.
Can't wait. To be honest with you, I've only so far bought kids stuff. So I need to. There's a couple more people, yourself included. I need to find something for Christmas for.
I'll take a Love's Condoms hat.
Well, I probably wouldn't. Did we show this on a regular channel? Do you want it?
No, I don't care.
So you should just.
It's a badass hat though. Like I would wear the shit out of this hat.
Well, you should. I
feel
mean, you're definitely welcome to it. I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera. It just says "loves condoms" on it, and this kind of thing, as you might imagine, sells kind of all right on eBay. So we picked it up just to flip it, bro. Perfect fit.
If I wore
Flat
that,
bill.
if I wore that with my 4 kids, people would be like, "That cap is cap."
Luckily, Alex's kid can't read yet. I'm
cap.
so cover photo. 100% is just Zach wearing I love condoms.
Loves condoms.
That's great. You should definitely take
Your
it with
7, 4, 2-year-old
It's all
and
yours.
5-month-old determined that was a lie.
you. Zach, you should. Alex, please wear that home tonight. And either film or report back next week on what the reaction of your wife is.
I'm gonna wear it to my wife's family Christmas.
Please
Oh,
do.
please do it.
Please do
Please.
it. The sad part is he probably will. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching.
I thought that said condos.
Nope.
Did we find that in Nashville, Goodwill Bins? I'm pretty sure I found that hours after. No, the day before your car got crashed.
Oh really?
Yeah, we found it at the bins then. Something like that, it doesn't really have value, but you put it on eBay for $15 and hope somebody offers you 10. That's a pretty standard thing to do with hats like that. You know what? Other than it saying something stupid, that flat bill looks all right on you. I'm doing flat bill today. I'm a flat bill guy,
You are.
it turns out.
Never really rocked
Yeah.
a flat bill.
Well, one more story before we go. I swear this will be it, and then we're going to have a popcorn party without you guys. I have a terrible time keeping up with some things. Not everything. Like, I've never lost my keys I've never permanently lost a pair of keys. It never happened. Never permanently lost a wallet. Never happened. But hats, I've bought 5 or 6 hats since we moved back to Kentucky because I'm actually wanting to let my hair grow out, but it's in that awkward stage where it's at a medium length, and I'd rather put a hat on right now while it grows. So I just keep buying hats, and I keep completely losing them. Just completely, they're just gone. So I went to Walmart today and bought like 5 hats. See how long that lasts. Maybe like a week. Maybe
About the
2
ones with the pockets in them. Like you
Well,
said?
yeah, I don't think it's in here, but the one I was wearing last week, it has a pocket.
Yeah.
And it's advertised as a tool hat, so the pocket has like a fake wrench and pin in it. But I wore it home, and immediately my dad was like, "You can put a nice doobie in there." And so Hannah started calling it my doobie hat, and now my
love
brother
it.
calls it my doobie hat.
I love it.
Well, I bought another one of those. I might go back and buy another one just in case I lose, because I'm going to lose them. I lose hats. All right, well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. My cat, we need a cat cam. Hannah doesn't usually set in for our podcast, but she's been sitting off camera this whole time. You need to just do this from now on and have a second camera in case things get weird. This cat just crawled inside of Alex's Star Wars mask, and now he's running away. Guys, this has been a long, winding podcast. Thank you for hanging out with us today. Now get out of here so we can eat some popcorn. And until next time, peace out.